September 21st, 1987. It's been 1 year since I first went inside that house. I have to finish what I started. What I am about to do has not been approved by the Vatican.
Wow, what an intro. Hello everyone, and welcome to Faith. A faux retro horror game done in the style of sort of Atari or MS-DOS games. And as you can hear from that sort of 8-bit-ish, it sounds a little good for 8-bit, I'm not sure what that would be, adaptation of what seems to be Nearer My God to Thee. We're leaning pretty hard into religious horror. And what a combination. Now, this is a style of game that I'm not really very nostalgic for. The earliest consoles I really played in my life were Sega Genesis. But that was such a creepy intro, that low rumble, the dark pixelated graphics, and that very primitive text-to-speech. We've got all these Latin menus, which, I see, it shows you what they are when you mouse over them, or when you hover over them. So we can begin, instructions, extras, and exit. Let's read the instructions first, just to be clear. To move, use WASD, arrow keys, or left analog stick, okay? I will walk before the Lord in the land of the living. Alright. Oh, I see. I can actually do it myself in the tutorial. That's kind of cool. Alright though, game, I know how to walk. That actually jump scared me. That's how primed I am. Face demons and cast them out with the space key or A button. Oh, so when I hold down space, I hold up a cross, which banishes them seemingly regardless of where I'm standing. I just have to be facing them. Alright, enough of that. Let's get into it. New game. Wait, there was a warning at the bottom. What did that say? Oh, I'm sure it's nothing. Oh, that bass. When the music drops like that, this is filling me with a real sense of dread somehow. How can a game with such graphics be so atmospheric already? Hey! What was that? Okay, I guess I'm dead. Expected a little more build-up than that. What was that about? Okay, I guess I need to be on my toes the entire time. Now, it says that it's been 1 year since I've been to this house. I guess I'm a priest, as indicated by... I guess we can see the little white collar on my neck. I don't remember what that's called. Alright, where you at, demon? You gonna come from the same place? Nope. Okay, we just gotta be ready for it. You came from a different direction that time, though. No! No, you don't. No, you don't. That text-to-speech was a little bit different. I heard, worship me? Oh, great. A well in the middle of the woods. It seems to interact with my cross. Is there some soul trapped within the well? You're invited. That's a terrifying clown with yellowed, gnarled teeth and eyes different sizes. Come celebrate Nate and Jason's 6th birthday. Twins? Saturday, May 3rd, from 12 to 4. Directions, turn right at 1338 Snake Meadow Hill Road and go straight past the well. Straight past the well. Oh, I intend to. And with how quickly that thing arrived before, the longer I go without seeing it, the more nervous I get. Did I maybe, like, perform some kind of exorcism here? It says that I'm here after a year. But it looks abandoned now, so whatever I did, it must not have worked. Okay, do I maybe have to go around? Oh, what do I do? Maybe I have to go back, check side to side? Climb in a window or something? Okay, I probably have to go back. Hello, dear? Does something happen if I approach you? Hey, bud. Hey. Okay, nothing to be done with that, I guess. Relocated. Huh? No. Oh, come on! What? I don't understand. I pulled it out. It said I have to face them, but I don't always seem to turn when I use the arrow keys. Oh, come on. I have to go all the way back? Okay, so angles are difficult, but I guess I only have to worry about, like, cardinal directions. Like, if he's anywhere on... Say it's anywhere on the left side of the screen for me, I only need to be facing like this, right? Or will either... Say it's in that top left corner. Will left work or up? I don't know. Because there's no angles here. A graveyard. And we can actually free souls from each of the graves. Mr. Martin, it's taken longer than expected registering the markers on your property. As a historical cemetery, our office has had difficulty identifying who was buried there. The inscriptions on the gravestones are written in a language that we can't identify. I've sent the gravestone rubbings to some of my peers at the University of Connecticut. I'll reach out to you when I get a response from them. All the best. Darrell Henderson, State of Connecticut Historical Society. So, these aren't related to the family. We actually have no idea who these are. Although this cross seems to be wooden, newer than the other stuff. Navigating is going to be like a memory game. And where is that thing? Getting really on edge out here. Yep, run, dear, run. I wonder if maybe I'm supposed to follow where it goes? Here's something. Public lecture by Charles James Osborne, Connecticut Connections to Witchcraft, Satanism, and the Beast System, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Now, it said on the itch.io page that this is partly inspired by the sort of paranoia and hysteria surrounding the satanic panic of the 80s and 90s. I I guess somebody's hosting a workshop on such things? Which I guess, if you're very religious, is quite a bad thing. I'm never going to be able to find my way back to the house. Okay, we're back here now. God, so it can come, like, right from the edge of the screen. You can be right there when it shows up. Nope. Do I have to do something with the deer? No, nothing I can do there. That was almost very unfair, have to say. And it's even worse knowing that if I die, I have to go all the way back. Come on! Are you serious? And what, I have to restart? Can we go through the trees on the right? No. Also, what happens if we... Yeah, I was curious what would happen if we went through while it was chasing me. Ah, a pond. Or a puddle, as it may be. I wonder what spirit was associated with that. I caught some people walking through the woods around the house last week. Not kids, just regular adults. They told me they got lost while hiking. I pointed them back towards the road. The whole thing just didn't feel right. I think I should go dig up Bob's rifle out of storage. Okay, rifle somewhere, noted. Turn off now. Hello, what's this? The Martins' house lies about 100 yards off of Snake Meadow Hill Road. There's almost no driveway. Trees jut out in the middle of a gravel path that is mostly covered in grass. It was difficult to find the house, especially since it was already dark when we arrived. Father Allred seemed to know where he was going. He simply drove straight ahead until we arrived at the house. In the headlights, I saw an old shed off to the right of the path. Father Allred explained that he would rather perform the exorcism away from the house, but the Martins had insisted that Amy remain inside. This must be the event that I was part of. He complained that having the family present makes it difficult to proceed with elements of the rite that may seem harsh to the layperson. So it is not an easy process. Hello? You saw that, right? There was something in the window for just a split second. But I got the key, presumably to the house. And okay, thank you. I feel a lot better now. It just showed a save icon in the bottom left. Whew. Okay, so since I may be safe-ish for now, I'm going to take a moment to give my thoughts on this game so far. So, a little annoying how long we had to go without saving, but this is really, really creepy, and I think it's one of those cases where the retro graphics are justified and are actually enhancing the feeling of dread rather than just being an aesthetic for the sake of it. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I feel like nostalgic sort of retro graphics appeal in such a way that it sort of transports you back to a time when everything wasn't so connected, when there was a lot more suspension of disbelief, when the world seemed like a bigger and scarier place and everyone didn't know everything. In a way, it's using these graphics to kind of transport us to the mindset of someone who would be susceptible to a scare like the Satanic Panic. But let's get a move on. Well, I guess Amy's exorcism didn't go well for this to be the state we find the property in. Nope. Get on up out of here. What is this? Bob, the kids and I miss you more every day. The twins and Amy have started their next school year here at home. Amy keeps asking when she's going to be allowed to go to real school. I think she's getting cabin fever. The twins are having no problems occupying their time. Yesterday they came in with their hands covered in blood. I guess they found a dead deer and thought it would be a good idea to touch it. I think we might have a coyote problem because when I went out with them to look at the dead deer, it was a pretty gruesome sight. All this just a day after the twins' birthday party. Can't wait till you come home. But clearly something weird is going on with these kids, right? I mean, that... Ha! Saved your life, dear! I've already redeemed myself. But something's definitely wrong with these kids. It could be seen as just childhood curiosity, but... I don't know, it's... maybe a little more than that. There was definitely something there in the window, but it's not what we've been seeing. It's all just frozen in time. A coat still hanging on the rack. Mr. and Mrs. Martin greeted us at the front porch. Mr. Martin led us downstairs to the basement, explaining that Amy was down there in restraints. I felt for him. There was guilt and shame in his voice. Amy was in the very back of the attic in a chair. Wait, didn't it just say she was in the basement? Perfectly calm, staring at us. It's hard to describe the look on her face. It was not the kind of look a child gives you. And when the music cuts out, that's when things start to get really eerie. That must be them. Now we can go to rooms on the left or right, or we can go upstairs. Let's start with the left. Take the bottom floor first. So this is a bedroom. Quite a big bed. I do not like this silence one bit, and is that a mirror on the other end of the room? Is that my shadow, or is there something hanging over me? Still, that's a real impressive effect for an Atari game. I say, as if it is actually an Atari game. No ambient noises whatsoever. The anticipation is incredible. But it seems like everything's left just the way it was. Those plants are surprisingly green for a place that's been abandoned for a year. And what is that on the counter on the right? Is that... I'm really hoping that's a jack-o'-lantern. We've got a back door. And what appears to be a child's drawing of a tall figure grasping the head of a small robed one. And this was drawn by Nate, one of the twins. These must be the stairs to the basement. So now the question is, do we go downstairs first or up? Even in these old retro graphics, I feel like my eyes are distracted by all the clutter, and I don't really know what's going to be around a given corner. A mannequin. There's what looks like it might be a blood stain off to the side there, but it's all obstructed. I can't get through. Is that supposed to be a crib? Dear Amy, thanks for writing. It really brightened my day hearing from you. In your letter, you asked what the weirdest thing I've seen as a missionary is. The area we're working in has a lot of folks who practice Quimbamba. It's what you might call a pagan religion. It's kind of a mix of Catholic and African religions. One of the saints they worship is San La Muerte, or Saint Death. Yesterday, we talked to a boy, about 15. When we asked him if he had ever prayed, he said, "No, but I have prayed to San La Muerte." He told us about a time when he stayed over at his cousin's house, and, according to him, they prayed to some figures of San La Muerte, and the figures made things in the house move around. He got real quiet and scared-looking after that. We told him he could pray to God, and that God wouldn't make him feel scared like that. We invited him to church, but he hasn't come yet. I need to wrap this letter up and get back to work. See you in 4 months. Leighton. So, Amy was interested in the work of missionaries? I guess it was a very religious family. Let's just try to exorcise every little corner of the house, just like where the Orkin man. What is this on the ground? Some kind of doll? Hello. Are those supposed to be more of those mannequin stands covered in sheets? Am I meant to navigate through them? I'm really not comfortable walking past them like this. Hello. These candles are lit. Something was happening here recently. Is this some kind of ritual? And more importantly, where did the blood come from? Amy's parents could not endure witnessing the proceedings of the rite for long. Mrs. Martin was hysterical, and the thing that was inside Amy was feeding off of the fear. Father Allred asked me to take the Martins upstairs. I was physically worn out, but managed to get them back up the stairs into the kitchen. Amy was screaming, "Mother! Mother!" the whole time. Finally, I got them to sit down with me at the kitchen table. Yeah, a while back when I played The Exorcist Legion, I also watched the movies, and what I came away with from that is that religious and possession horror differs from, sort of paranormal horror in that it really brings out all the cruelty. That's kind of the defining trait of demons, is that they exploit all the fears and insecurities and attachments of people in order to twist the knife and cause as much suffering as possible in ways that another type of ghost really can't. After a few minutes, we couldn't hear much of anything down in the basement, so I went to check on things. I found Father Allred lying on his back, unconscious, with his arms spread out wide. Amy was not in the chair. Definitely taking some inspiration from The Exorcist. Now we know this is down here, but should I interact with it? Probably not, right? Hi! What are you?
She is here.
She is here. What do you mean she is here? Is something coming? Am I upstairs now? What is that noise? I guess I was the only one who thought to check in the attic. When I got up there, it was freezing cold. I found Amy standing in the back, looking straight at me like when I first met her downstairs. We spoke briefly, although it was frustrating to talk to her. Or it. I experienced a bit of deception from the demon. During our conversation, she uttered my mother's first name, and in other instances, she spoke perfect Latin. I called for help from the others, but nobody came, so I raised my crucifix and began the rite again. But what was the conclusion? My character knows this, but I don't. Are we in the attic right now, or are we upstairs? Bob must be stationed somewhere in the Middle East, because he sent over this weird-looking doll for Amy's birthday. I'll ask Anish about it next time we have book club. She looks like she could be from over there. That's an 80s statement. Amy didn't seem excited to see the doll. I think she would rather have a phone instead. Or maybe seeing a baby doll makes her feel self-conscious about working at the clinic. Oh, is Amy not a child, but an adult? Or maybe she's younger and doing like some kind of volunteer work. These must be the twins' rooms. We've got to try everything. There it is again. No. No! Oh, look at all these nostalgic 80s toys. Simon, maybe Rock'em Sock'em Robots, that weird lawnmower thing that you push around and the things pop, an Etch-a-Sketch. Crazy how I can tell all that from these pixelated graphics, but there must be something here. That purple demon, is that her? Or at least the thing that had taken her, and does it still have her? We still don't know the ultimate outcome of all this. Nope. Nope. So I only have a second, I guess, to figure out which one it is. Cast it away. Yeah, this is upstairs, which means that must be the door to the attic. But there's still another room we haven't searched. What is this? Nope. If it's saying something, I can't make out what it is. No. No. Oh, that is such an interesting way of doing it. A blood trail appears on the ground, indicating that an invisible figure is marching towards me. And when that thing does catch up to me, what is it that happens? Does it send me somewhere? I almost didn't spot that in the rug.
I heard a door open upstairs.
We just had to cast it out a certain number of times. I think I did read that somewhere. Did it say it in the game, or was it on the itch.io page or in the README? I don't even know how I knew that. Drag marks. Karen, the church might contact you in a few days to tell you their version of what happened to me. I want you to hear it from me first. A year ago, I was involved in the exorcism of Amy Martin. What they said in the papers about what happened isn't true. My superior, father, wait, are there blacked out statements? With something. When I confronted her, something, managed to cut the power to the house and something, her own parents, with their own... And those blanks are worth 1,000 words. I have to go back to that house. The nightmares I'm having are real. She's still there, waiting for me. I can still help her. If I don't come back, know that I love you and I'm sorry. John. That one seems to have a face drawn on it in blood, and I'm not sure if it was like that when I started reading the note. There she is, just where I found her before. I can't move with the cross out, but if I could, that's just what I'd be doing.
What happened to you? Do you think my face is pretty? I have to finish what I started. She's my priest.
Be gone. Be gone. Be gone. The power of Christ compels you. That's the figure from the drawing, I bet. I'm not sure if it wanted me to break. It was you. No! Oh, come on! I got it up! I had it up in time! Okay, we start back from here. That reveal of literally no face. Okay, I had to dodge it. Nope. Come on. No, I can't react fast enough. Off you go. Just how do I know when it's over, though? Come on, this has got to end at some point. Oh, it just goes on and on. Ugh, something's changing on you. Oh, I thought that was going to get me. It seems like you only have to move a little bit out of the way. Out. Is there something else I'm meant to do? There we go. Next stage of the boss fight! Next stage, next stage, next stage! Okay, so holding up the cross was not what I was meant to do. Alright, just stay away from you. Easier said than done with how sluggish these controls are. Come on! So you're gonna chase me around the room. Eventually that thing is gonna come and meet you, and once it gets back in, then you're moving again. Yeah, this is a little bit more hectic than I would like. A little unsubtle, but whatever. And if that thing hits me, I die. Maybe if I try holding the cross on you from farther away, maybe that'll help. No, it doesn't work. I have to be close to you, but the problem is getting close to you, that thing will hit me as I'm standing there. So, what do you want me to do about that? Seems like the move is you have to be close, and you have to move right before it arrives at her. It's getting old. I also don't know which direction she's going to take off in. Or I guess she follows the pentagram. What are you? What was that? I have a feeling that's like the physical representation of the demon that's possessing her. Oh, come! I was so far out of the way! Are you serious? And now I have to go back to the start of all of that? I understand that it's trying to emulate the very frustrating gameplay of Atari games, but it's kind of taking me out of the horror aspect. Come on. Out with you, 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 out with you. This has got to be it. This has got to be it. Oh, thank you, finally. Where are you going? Out the window. Okay. That, to me, seems like more of a problem than before, actually. And before you were kind of safely contained within, but now you're just out there somewhere. Oh, geez, wow. I don't even know how long that took. But I'm going to have to talk about that because, good God, that took me out of it. Now, on the one hand, I feel that an exorcism in a game should be a long and exhausting process. Because in the movie The Exorcist, if you've ever seen that, the exorcism in that movie is a very repetitive but a very intense process, one that's very draining, one that's very fatiguing. And so this did that. The problem is that, you know, it's a one-tap death. And so every time you die, you have to go back to the beginning, and so it just becomes annoying. It just starts to feel like you're locking the ending behind this incredibly frustrating, incredibly... like, it just feels like it's wasting your time. It feels like, imagine if you were reading a book and then it said, like, all right, to access the last chapter, like, you know, beat Dark Souls 3 times without dying. All right. All right, but let's move forward. If we are heading back to the car, we now have to walk through the woods with that thing out there. Whatever we did, it doesn't seem like it worked. And of course, we still have to remember that other four-legged whatever it was. Maybe we should head down into the basement? Kill her. And there's that rifle it was talking about. Well, I guess where Jesus failed, Springfield can get it done. So I only have one shot. And an inability to aim diagonally. You know, I suppose that frustration is sort of being mirrored in the gameplay now. A priest actually discarding a cross, discarding the will to help, for something very earthly that can just get the job done. Alright, where are you? You're out here somewhere. You're out here somewhere, we just have to be ready. This environment is not the same as the one we left, either. There she is. Is this a trick? See, now I don't know. Do I do it, or do I take the chance and approach? I'm gonna take the chance. Oh, I can't. All right. Did I really have to? Was there something else I could do? She had stopped. She wasn't coming after me. And now, all that's left, I guess, is to return to the car in silence. in contemplation of what just happened here. Have I really helped anyone? Or have I just made things worse? I think this is the way back to the car. I hope I didn't bring the rifle with me. Ending 1 of 5, murderer. So there are multiple endings. But what else could I have done in that moment? What else could I have done throughout the gameplay? Police arrest man accused of murdering missing girl. A New York man is in custody today after he confessed to the murder of a Sterling girl who had been missing. John Ward of Palmyra was pulled over on Snake Meadow Hill Road last night after a state trooper reported hearing a gunshot. The officer thought it might have been poachers. The officer said Ward was acting nervous and suspicious after being pulled over. When questioned, Ward reportedly said, "I've killed her." According to the police report, the officer called for backup after Ward became increasingly upset, saying repeatedly that there was a demon inside her. Ward was taken to Sterling Police Headquarters for further questioning. Ward then confessed to authorities that he shot and killed Amy Martin, a 17-year-old girl who had been missing for 9 days after escaping from a mental institution. After a brief search, police located Amy's body in the woods near the now-abandoned Martin home. In addition to receiving a gunshot wound to the stomach, Amy showed injuries suggesting that she had been thrown out of the second-story window of the house. An officer who helped recover the body told reporters that Amy's face had been mutilated in a very brutal manner. Ward was found dressed as a priest when he was pulled over. It is suspected that he impersonated a priest to gain his victim's trust after Catholic authorities in Rome confirmed that Ward was not an ordained minister. So, either we have a case of an unreliable narrator, or more likely, the church disavowed him. The rest of the article is missing. But we had the option of coming back here and continuing to see what other endings we can get, so let's do it. I'm pretty sure I did everything I could possibly do in the lead-up, so whatever else has to be done, it's gotta be here where things branch off. Ah, that shadow is no longer on me. Maybe I don't pick up the gun at all. Maybe I just approach her with the cross instead. Ah, I could interact with that. Pardon the plane flying overhead, if you can hear that, but I tried to interact with that before, but I couldn't tell it was shimmering because of the yellow color. I don't feel safe in my own home anymore. I hear voices outside round the house at night. I don't let the twins go out in the woods to play because I'm afraid of what's out there. The house itself feels stressed, distorted, slanted somehow. It's like I'm walking through a carnival funhouse. Amy's condition has only gotten worse. I can't stand to be around her, and I don't know why. She just doesn't seem like herself anymore. I want to take her to the doctor, but I can't leave the boys here. I find that the phone stops working throughout the day, and now I can't seem to find my car keys. Thank God Bob comes home tomorrow. Alright, I think the first thing to try is to just abandon the gun and approach using my own set of tools. We've got this time. No. It actually doesn't work. Maybe I have to face her. no. Well, what then? She seems like she's in some kind of dormant state. Maybe there's something else I can find out in the woods. There were other directions I could travel. And the layout seems to be entirely different from the one when we arrived. You know, I'm thinking back now. There are a couple of potential sources of this possession. I mean, it said that they couldn't identify the language on these gravestones, and they had no way of knowing who's buried here. It all started when the doll was brought back from the Middle East, but maybe it's a combination of elements? Maybe the doll is the key to a door that was already here? Alternatively, I suppose I could try just leaving. Going back to the car. This path seems to curve up and to the right. There you are, back at the shed. That was a disturbing sound. Wow, that caught me off guard. Alright, you went that way. I'll keep that in mind. Anything in the shed? Can't re-enter. Where are you going? You look like the shadow person, but you made very human sounds. And just like that, you're gone. And if I come back, you're back here. Run. And if I follow you, nothing. Oh. What if I use the gun on the guy instead? He does stand still. He doesn't bolt the second I arrive. And what if... Okay, I'm trying to work out what the potential endings could be. One of them is shoot her. Obviously, I don't want to do that. Another potential ending is leave. Another potential ending is shoot the guy. And another potential ending is fire and miss. Let's get that rifle.
With one bullet.
And let's go hunting, but not for Amy. Alternatively, again, I leave and get a free rifle. Which also sounds pretty sweet. There you are. I got you, sucker. Let's just perform some last rites. And now what happens if we try to go back to Amy? See, he looked like the shadow that had taken over her. That had taken over me. But it was very human, and honestly, I have no idea who I just killed. None of you tell the cops that it was premeditated. She's gone. Did I destroy that attachment somehow? You know, notably, the shed was also where the other priest wanted to perform the exorcism.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. I shall not be afraid.
Oh my God, it's you! Father and son. What do you mean, father and son? Who did I shoot? Esteemed Cardinal Gifford, with all due respect, you cannot grasp the importance of the work I'm doing for young Michael without being present here. Michael needs my help now more than ever. In the past few weeks, I've made great progress with Michael's affliction. Nevertheless, whatever darkness is inside of him fights back with increasing ferocity. We must not let up the fight against the enemy at such a critical time. There is another reason which I dare not return Michael to his family, nor let them see him. The darkness inside him afflicts his soul, but it also causes a terrible strain on his body, so that there may be no mistaking what I mean, I've enclosed a photograph of young Michael during one of our sessions. The photograph is missing. That's so much worse because we don't know what's in the photograph. All we know is that whatever it is, it's so disturbing that it was considered sure to convince a skeptic. Alright. The next thing to try is simply just leaving. Yep, I'm out. And there is no doing it this time. Oh, that's just a death. It's just a death where the cross doesn't work. I had to get to the car first, I guess? Or maybe I'm not allowed to leave. Yeah, so what happens if I just fire this thing and miss? Boom, no bullet. Okay, so at that point it's just used up, so that's not an ending. So what could the other three possibly be? Alright, I've just looked up how to get the other three endings without reading ahead to what they actually do. So all I know is how to achieve them, not what happens when we do them. So part of it relies on something we haven't found in the woods. Apparently we can find a corpse in the woods, and one of the endings involves shooting that. One of them involves returning to the car still holding the guns, so my free rifle idea wasn't actually as foolproof as I thought. Oh right, in one of the endings I have to shoot a deer. And I did see a convenient map also when I read this, so I know basically where things are. This looks like the corpse of perhaps some kind of fox, maybe? And it's all surrounded by rocks, as if in some kind of ritual position. Well, I've done that. I wonder what kind of difference that makes. I completed like some kind of offering, I think. Oh, yeah, I guess I really did. Wow. I wonder if Amy set that up in the time she was outside. Wow, talk about screwing up, and I thought the first ending was bad. I actually brought about the apocalypse that time. Hello, Amy. I'm sorry to hear about your parents' decision. It is hard for people to trust what they don't understand. I know you're only 17, but you are clearly an adult and you're able to handle your own life. Do not let your mom and dad stop you from following your dreams. If there's anything I can do to help you, just let me know. We're having a get-together at the clinic Saturday, and I'd love for you to stop by. We still consider you a part of the team, even if your mom and dad do not. We hope to see you there. Gary. Just what was Gary's group supposed to be? Was she not as innocent in this as it seemed? There. I suppose that's my own offering. Although, to be honest, I don't see how any of these could give us a happy ending.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. I shall not be afraid of the terror.
Oh, the deer get their revenge. Oh no. Ending 4 of 5, The Hunter. I feel like I've intruded on the territory of the Deer Lord from Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. Unidentified body discovered near wrecked car. The site of a deadly car accident was discovered along a road near Sterling this morning, along with the body of a person who has not yet been identified. At 6 a.m. this morning, a resident called to report an accident along Snake Meadow Hill Road. The driver of a silver sedan had swerved off the road and struck a tree. A spokesman for the police commented that the body appeared to have been dragged several yards away from the car, deeper into the woods after having been ejected from the front windshield. It was noted that the body had been mangled beyond recognition. Investigators suspect this was probably the work of coyotes. Nice callback. Police also noted that parts of a cleaned white-tailed deer were found in the trunk of the car. From a white-tailed deer, a hunter practically gets 75 pounds of meat. However, it appears the victim of the accident was only able to carry 25 pounds back to the car. I feel like there's something I'm not getting here. If I just leave with the rifle, maybe I still get attacked by that thing? But maybe I can try using some, good old-fashioned human hardware. See what that does to a demon. If that is indeed what happens. There you go. Nice. Yep, human hardware really is where it's at. I took care of that in about 2 seconds.
I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him I will trust. I shall not be afraid of the terror in the night, nor the evil that walketh in darkness. Because I have made the Lord my refuge. Because I have set my love upon him, therefore will he deliver me. I shall call upon him and he will answer me. He will be with me in trouble. He will deliver me and honor me. I can't explain what happened at that house. I can only have faith that I did the right thing.
When faith endures. And I guess that means that what we have there is the good ending. Police, animal experts investigate chupacabra remains found near Sterling. Sterling Police Department is enlisting the help of local animal experts from the University of Connecticut after the remains of an unidentified animal were found near Sterling. The remains of an animal, which some residents are calling a chupacabra, were discovered on Snake Meadow Hill Road by a motorist yesterday. The animal had apparently been struck by a vehicle, and parts of its carcass were scattered across the road. Police say they initially investigated the gruesome scene because the motorist who discovered the remains had told them they appeared to be of a person. After arriving at the scene, police concluded that the remains were of some kind of animal. As a matter of public safety, we want to be sure about what exactly we're dealing with here, said a Sterling police spokesman. This is clearly not a deer or a coyote. If it's a mountain lion or exotic pet that escaped from its owners, or an animal with rabies, we need to know about it. Animal experts attached to the investigation would not speculate about what kind of animal had been found, although they commented that the animal was hairless, anemic, and apparently suffered from the rickets, a vitamin D deficiency that appears in animals and children who have not received enough sunlight. We've got another Montauk Monster situation, have we? It just deposits us right back at the house in order to search for more endings, but we've gotten 5 out of 5, and I'm gonna end it here. So that was Faith, and that was really, really cool. It used those sort of graphics to really transport us back to the time that it's meant to be emulating. And it used the simplicity of its graphics and its music to really evoke a sense of dread that we're walking off the path into the arms of evil. And you know what else? It didn't just feel like each ending was, okay, you did it wrong, and now you gotta go back and get the good ending. Each one is actually worth pursuing, because each one sort of expands a little bit on what's going on. We actually learned more with each ending and the notes that it gave. I'm pretty sure that this is meant to be part 1 of a 3-part series. This one is available for free as sort of a demo, but I think the final thing may cost money, I'm not sure. There's 2 places where you can get this. You can download it from itch.io, which is the link I'll include in the description, or you can download it as a demo from Steam. I'm not sure if that's the same thing, I assume it is, but I think it's supposed to be a trilogy. The fact that this game is really utilizing that retro look for the sake of nostalgia's role in horror. I mean, all of this, it reminds me of, go back to the Sega Genesis, which of course doesn't look quite as simple as this, but, sitting around that on my small TV in my room in the late 90s, just the glow illuminating the whole thing hours after I was supposed to have gone to bed, and just in the flicker of the screen, not being sure if I just saw something in the corner, the repetitive soundtracks going over and over again, kind of lulling me into this hypnotic state where I'm so focused on the game and it's like I can feel the darkness closing in around me until eventually I break and have to look around the room and then do it all over again. At that point, I'm afraid to turn it off and leave the room totally in darkness. I know I won't be doing any sleeping after that. This does such a good job of bringing me back there. Almost nostalgic for a time I never experienced. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.